Yeah, I was wondering about this patch, Ben. And I just wanted to know who gave you permission to wear that patch.
Ever wondered what really goes down in the outlaw motorcycle world? From secret hand signals that save lives to the real reason they park backwards at bars. These aren't your average weekend riders. They live by codes most people never hear about. What happens when you disrespect a patch? Why do some bikers carry $100 bills sewn into their vests? We've uncovered 20 shocking biker secrets that'll blow your mind. The last secret could literally save your life. Number 20. Why bikers park backwards at the curb.
Backing a motorcycle into a parking space is a lot safer than pulling in forks forward. Plus, when it's time to go, all you have to do is pop the bike into gear and ride out. It increases your visibility to see oncoming traffic, and it looks a lot cooler.
Ever notice how bikers always back their motorcycles into parking spaces? It ain't about looking cool or showing off chrome, it's straight up survival tactics. When you roll up to a biker bar or MC clubhouse, you'll see every single bike backed in, facing outward, ready to blast off at a moment's notice. This ain't random, this is calculated. In the MC world, situations can flip from chill to chaos faster than you can say trouble. Back your bike in and you've got an instant escape route. No awkward shuffling, no three-point turns while everyone else is peeling out. Just throw your leg over, fire that engine up, and you're gone, leaving nothing but dust and noise behind you. Think about it. You're inside a packed bar when rival clubs show up, disrespect flies, and suddenly tables are flipping. You sprint outside needing to bounce quick. You want your bike facing the street, not the building. Those extra seconds spent turning your bike around might be the difference between clean getaway and serious problems. Even for casual riders, it's smart riding. Backing in means you can see traffic clearly when leaving. No blind spots, no awkward neck craning to check for cars. You're set up for a clean exit every time. Plus, it keeps your bike visible from inside wherever you're at, meaning you can keep an eye on your pride and joy through the window. The practical side goes deeper too. Parking backed in protects your pipes. Most bikes have exhaust pipes on the sides or back. Backing in keeps these away from passing traffic that might clip them. And if it starts raining suddenly, you can hop on and get going without backing into the downpour. This habit becomes second nature for serious riders. Veterans don't even think about it anymore. Pulling up to a spot and immediately swinging the back end around is as automatic as breathing. Watch a group of experienced riders arrive somewhere. It's like synchronized swimming, the way they all back in perfectly in formation. Bikers often park their motorcycles backwards at the curb instead of front first. This deliberate method allows for swift departures, eliminating the need to perform a multi-point turn in tight spaces. In everyday riding, convenience and efficiency are significant. But in motorcycle culture, readiness can be a matter of safety or survival. So next time you spot a row of Harleys all backed in perfectly at the local watering hole, understand it ain't for show. It's readiness, it's awareness, it's the mindset that says always be prepared for what might come next. Because in the biker world, readiness isn't just smart, it's survival. And speaking of survival on the road, that's why many bikers have those colorful rolled-up blankets strapped to their front forks too. Number 19. The meaning behind rolled-up blankets, sarapes.
Back in
What
the
do you
days,
call this thing again?
This is a sarap. It's just a Mexican blanket. And what it is back in the days, bikers that used to travel used to carry a blanket or a suitcase, backpack on the back, and they just pulled over with sleep.
Yeah.
Hence, so we just have it Mexican style.
So this is more of an iconic thing.
Yes. And then this is the Aztec counter, and it matches my necklace because I'm Mexican.
Nice.
You know, so.
Really nice necklace.
So yeah, so that's what that is. And if you look, a lot of guys have them on the back of the bikes. See?
Oh, on the back.
See? They have them on the back of the bikes too. And you got that. And a lot of times too, when you're out with a girl,
Yeah.
you just lay it down and you get laid.
Those bright, colorful striped blankets rolled up tight and strapped across the front forks of Harleys aren't just for show, they're called sarapes, and they carry deep meaning in biker culture. These ain't just random decoration, they're functional pieces with serious heritage behind them. The sarape comes straight from Mexican tradition, dating back centuries to a time when revolutionaries and common folk alike used these versatile blankets for everything. They were jackets during cold desert nights, bedding when sleeping rough, shade from the brutal sun, and sometimes even makeshift ponchos during unexpected rain. They represented survival and self-reliance, exactly what motorcycle culture embraces. For riders with Mexican heritage, strapping a sarape to their bike is a badge of honor. It's a rolling tribute to their bloodline, their ancestors, their cultural identity. Every time that bike fires up, they're carrying their history with them, making a statement about who they are and where they come from. It's pride in physical form, cultural armor wrapped around steel. But it ain't just symbolic. That sarape is practical as hell for riders living the true biker lifestyle. The road doesn't always lead to hotels or comfortable beds. Sometimes you're riding until you can't anymore, pulling over wherever the night catches you. That's when you kill the engine, unroll that blanket, and crash under the stars. No reservations needed, no comfort sacrificed, just you, your bike, and the open sky. The colors matter too. Traditional sarapes feature bright combinations, reds, yellows, blues, and greens in distinctive patterns. These aren't random. Different regions of Mexico have different pattern traditions, so knowledgeable bikers can sometimes tell where a rider's heritage points just by the design they're carrying. It's like flying your family's flag without saying a word. Rolled-up blankets, commonly called sarapes in motorcycle circles, trace their origins to traditional Mexican textiles. Originally woven by indigenous artisans, these blankets featured vivid stripes and durable fibers suitable for harsh conditions. Revolutionaries and rural workers alike carried sarapes as versatile garments, shawls, bedding, and protection against wind or cold. Aesthetic considerations also shaped the sarape's adoption. Bold color schemes complement custom paint and leatherwork, reinforcing a club's visual identity. When multiple bikes sport matching blankets, the group projects unity and discipline, each rider contributing to a coherent striking formation at rallies or roadside stops. Distinctions arise between decorative and functional use. Some riders secure lightweight replicas solely for style, while others insist on authentic woven blankets robust enough for overnight use. Regardless of choice, the act of securing the sarape, folded meticulously, strapped evenly, reflects a ritual of preparedness shared among seasoned road warriors. When you spot a sarape strapped tight to a bike's front forks, you're seeing more than decoration. You're witnessing a statement about identity, about survival, about living free on your own terms. It's the opposite of soft living. It's embracing the road with everything it throws at you. That willingness to adapt to changing situations on the road is crucial in biker culture. And sometimes adaptation means knowing when to be visible and when to disappear, which is why flipping your cut inside out is another survival technique with deep meaning in MC culture. Number 18. The secret of flipping their vest. Cut.
Club patches are earned. If there's one critical rule you should remember, it's this. When it comes to MC patches, you should only wear them if you've earned them. All members of motorcycle clubs take pride in belonging to their organization, and many are extremely loyal to their clubs. This level of pride stems from the vetting process each member has to go through before getting accepted into the club. There's a strong loyalty to that club based on the companionship and all the miles that club members cover together. This means MC members do not appreciate it when outsiders are wearing their colors.
That leather vest covered in patches, colors, and rockers. That's not just clothing, that's a biker's identity. They call it a cut, and it represents everything. Brotherhood, loyalty, reputation, years of earning trust and putting in work. So when you see a biker flip the cut inside out, turning all those patches and colors to the inside, something serious is happening. Flipping your cut is a calculated move done in specific situations where showing colors might be dangerous or unwanted. It's like a temporary invisibility cloak in a world where those patches make you highly visible. There's a story from an MC member who was heading into a tense sit-down with another outlaw club in Rhode Island. After finding out the rival club had connections with local law enforcement, Their president had everyone turn their vests inside out before crossing state lines. The police at the exit just let them ride through. No colors, no trouble. This practice comes with heavy rules, though. You don't just flip your cut whenever you feel like it. Most clubs require permission from leadership before a member can hide their colors this way. Think about it. Those colors were earned through blood, sweat, and brotherhood. Hiding them without proper reason could be seen as disrespect or cowardice. Some clubs strictly forbid it altogether, saying if you're not ready to represent at all times, you shouldn't be wearing the patch at all. Motorcycle club vests, often called cuts, represent more than mere outerwear. Worn over leather jackets, these patches display club insignia, member rank, and individual achievements. A cut embodies a rider's identity, loyalty, and place within the club hierarchy. Flipping that vest inside out transforms it from a proud display into a discreet garment, communicating an urgent, unspoken message. Flipping a cut means turning the vest so its patched side faces inward. The colorful club colors and emblems disappear, replaced by the plain interior. Historically, early motorcycle clubs needed ways to disguise membership when law enforcement grew hostile or rival groups sought confrontation. Displaying club colors could invite police attention or provoke territorial conflicts. By concealing the cut, members passed through areas without signaling allegiance, reducing scrutiny and enabling safer transit. Flipping your cut is never done casually. It's a serious tactical decision that shows you understand both the dangers of the road and the weight of what you're carrying on your back. Each biker has to decide where their line is, when to stand bold with colors flying, and when discretion means survival. When a member gets kicked out of a club for breaking rules or betrayal, they lose the right to wear that cut forever. And sometimes that's not the only thing they might lose. Their bike might be on the line too. Number 17. Do clubs really take your bike if you're kicked out?
If you left from the club, there was either retired, out in good standings, or out in bad standings. When I'd first joined, if you were in for more than 5 years, you could retire. Say something like, hey, dude, you just had a kid, and maybe you're going through divorce, and now you're a single dad. You know, there's a lot of reasons where, okay, now I can't devote all my time to the club. You show up to church, explain it, and, you know, a lot of times we're all supposed to be brothers, right? We'd say, okay, you're right. Your focus should be on this, and we let them leave in good standings. But after those big raids in 2008, we lost a ton of members. And there was other stuff going on too. And they had changed the rule that you had to be in for 10 years before you could retire. And then as people were still quitting, for what I don't remember what even the selling point of this was, but we all voted for it, that if you haven't been in for 10 years and you quit, you're automatically out bad. Well, before, out bad was like you stole from someone or you told on someone or, you know, you violated a major rule. Now we water it down by saying, well, they're out bad, but just because they quit.
Getting put out bad from an MC is about the worst thing that can happen to a patch holder. It means you've crossed a line you can't come back from, broke the code, disrespected the club, or betrayed your brothers. And yeah, sometimes that means losing more than just your cut. Your bike might be at risk too, depending on the situation and the club you're dealing with. The truth is, it varies from club to club. Some MCs have strict policies. If you get thrown out for serious violations, everything connected to club life gets reclaimed. That includes your patch, obviously, but can extend to your motorcycle too, especially if that bike was painted in club colors, had significant modifications funded by club money, or was heavily associated with your club identity. The reclaiming process can happen different ways. Sometimes it's direct and immediate. You might be told right there in the meeting to hand over your keys along with your cut. No discussion, no debate, just surrender everything and walk away. Other times, members might show up at your home later to collect the bike, making a statement to anyone watching that you've fallen out with serious people. Not all clubs share identical property policies. Some adhere to an informal principle that bikes purchased and maintained with individual funds remain private property. Leaders in these clubs typically rescind only the members' right to display colors, stopping short of asset reclamation. Alternatively, other organizations invest collectively in builds, paint schemes, and major upgrades. When a motorcycle bears club-funded modifications or registered titles co-signed by the club, it effectively becomes a shared asset. Violating the code under such arrangements often triggers formal demands for full surrender of the machine, alongside the cut. In severe disciplinary scenarios, clubs enforce repossession with organized precision. During expulsion meetings, voting members may decree immediate handover of keys. Enforcement teams sometimes arrive at a former member's residence to retrieve the motorcycle, towing it to club property. Symbolic destruction, burning or crushing the bike, serves as a public warning to current members that betrayal severs all bonds, both symbolic and material. Proceeds from liquidated assets may be funneled back into club funds or used to finance a new prospect's initiation. The reality is that much depends on how you leave and why. Someone caught informing to law enforcement will likely face maximum consequences, losing everything connected to club life. Someone who simply couldn't keep up with dues or attendance might just lose their patch, but keep their personal property. Context matters hugely. For many bikers, their motorcycle is an extension of themselves, something deeply personal that represents freedom and identity beyond any club affiliation. Taking that bike would be like taking a part of them, which is exactly why some clubs do it when someone leaves under the worst circumstances. Even during regular rides, communication is essential between club members. That's why bikers develop an elaborate system of hand signals to keep everyone safe and coordinated when words can't be heard over engines. Number 16. Secret hand signals.
Let's break down some motorcycle hand signals. Left turn, arm in hand extending left, palm facing down. Right turn, arm out, bent at a 90-degree angle, fist clenched. Stop, arm extended straight down, palm facing back. Refreshment stop, fingers closed, thumb to the mouth. Fuel stop, arm out to the side, pointing to the tank with your finger extended. Pull off, arm position as for a right turn, forearm swung toward shoulder. Slow down, arm extended straight out, palm facing down, swinging down to your side. You lead, arm extended, upwards 45, follow me. Arm extended straight up from shoulder, palm forward. Single file, arm and index finger extended straight up. Double file, arm with index and middle finger extended straight up. Hazard ahead. On the left, point with left hand. On the right, point with right foot. Your blinkers on. Put your left arm around waist height, open and close your fingers to a point. Cops ahead. Tap on the top of your helmet with an open palm. Hopefully these signs help you while you're out on the road, and follow for more MC Culture content.
On the road, engine noise drowns out voices, and helmet-to-helmet communication systems can fail. That's why bikers have developed an entire language with their hands. Silent signals that can save lives when riding in formation. These aren't random gestures. They're a refined system developed over decades of group riding experience. The most basic and common signal is the follow me motion. Left arm straight up, palm facing forward. When a lead rider throws this up, it means fall in line behind them. This happens after gas stops, when formation changes, or when a new road captain takes point. It's the signal that gets everyone back in proper riding order without confusion or hesitation. For hazard warnings, precision matters. Point directly down and to the left with your left hand when there's danger on that side. Could be gravel, roadkill, broken glass, or an oil slick. For right-side hazards, riders use their right foot to point, keeping both hands on the controls. These signals pass backward through the group, giving everyone time to adjust their lane position safely. Formation changes need clear communication too. Single file is indicated by the left arm, straight up with one finger pointed to the sky. This might be needed for narrow roads, construction zones, or heavier traffic. 2 fingers up means double file, tighten up the formation, and ride side by side where legal. These quick adjustments keep the group compact and organized without unnecessary words. Secret hand signals represent an unspoken dialogue among motorcyclists that originates from a practical need to convey timely warnings, formation changes, and safety instructions without the impediment of wind noise or engine roar interfering with verbal communication. Developed and refined over decades of club rides, these gestures constitute a rich vocabulary that riders rely on to maintain group cohesion and avoid accidents on crowded or unpredictable roadways. These hand signals create a silent bond between riders, a language only they understand. They've saved countless accidents and prevented many dangerous situations over the years. Learning them is part of becoming a true biker, showing you're committed to not just your own safety, but the well-being of everyone you ride with. The respect for protocols shown in these hand signals extends to every aspect of biker culture, from how you park to how you communicate, and even to understanding territory boundaries when passing through different regions. Number 15. The safety pin secret.
What does a safety pin on a biker's vest mean? In MC culture, that little silver pin can say a lot without saying a word. The first time I ever saw one was on my mentor's cut, and I was thinking, why is he wearing a huge safety pin on his colors? In MC culture, we have so many little traditions and codes. What this is called is a pass-through pin. Since he was a nomad, he was always passing through other outlaw territory. Wearing that safety pin or pass-through pin is like saying, I'm just passing through. I'm not here to stay. I'm not here to claim your turf. I don't want no issues. It's a small code, a little sign of respect. Now, let me be very clear. It does not mean you're bulletproof. Just because you have a pass-through pin on, it doesn't mean you could just fly through a no-fly zone and everything will be fine. Things can still happen, but it is a sign of respect, and if old school bikers see it, they will understand what you're trying to do, that you're just passing through and you're not seen as an enemy. Outlaw motorcycle clubs have motorcycle clubs under them called support clubs. These support clubs will act on behalf of the bigger MC, their big brothers, and they will go into town and clean it up on the bigger club's behalf. So now you roll in, they don't know if you're a support club. So let me know in the comments if you ride with a pass-through pin, and follow for more MC culture content.
That little safety pin you might spot on a biker's cut isn't some random decoration or fashion statement. In the MC world, this tiny piece of metal carries serious meaning. It's called a pass-through pin, and it speaks volumes to those who understand the code. What looks like nothing special to regular folks is actually a silent message in the outlaw biker community. The pass-through pin serves a specific purpose. It tells other clubs and riders that you're just passing through their territory with respect. You're not claiming turf, not looking for trouble, not trying to flex or disrespect anyone's patch. You're just a rider on the move, acknowledging that you're in someone else's backyard and showing proper respect while you're there. Nomads and independent riders use these pins most often. If you're not affiliated with a major club but still ride serious miles, you'll eventually cross through territories where tensions run high. That pin becomes your silent ambassador, not asking permission exactly, but showing awareness that motorcycle territory is real and respected. The placement matters too. Usually, the pass-through pin sits on the shoulder of a cut or near certain patches. It needs to be visible enough that other riders can spot it, but subtle enough that civilians won't notice anything special. It's communication meant only for those who speak the language of MC culture. Wearing a simple safety pin on a motorcycle club cut conceals a complex message rooted in respect, neutrality, and silent adherence to a strict code of conduct that governs interactions among rival organizations. This small metal fastener, often inconspicuously placed on a club vest's shoulder, signifies a rider's status as a pass-through, who is not claiming territory or allegiance to the local chapter, but instead is recognizing the sovereignty of that region's club without challenging it. Don't think for a second that this pin gives you special privileges or protection, though. It's not a free pass or some magic shield. It simply demonstrates that you understand protocol and are trying to show proper respect while moving through. Some hardcore clubs might still approach you regardless, but that pin at least shows you're not completely clueless about whose roads you're riding on. For travelers crossing multiple territories on long runs, that safety pin can reduce tensions at gas stations, diners and bars along major routes. It's a small gesture that says, just passing by, rather than looking for attention. In a world where subtle signals often prevent major conflicts, this humble piece of metal serves an important purpose. The pass-through pin represents something deeper in biker culture. The understanding that respect matters above all else. Knowing your place in the hierarchy, acknowledging others' territories, and following unwritten rules are fundamental to surviving and thriving on the road. This awareness extends beyond just territory. It applies to how you address patch holders too, which is why you should never casually call a patched member bro unless you've earned that right. Number 14. Why you shouldn't call a patched biker bro.
Yo, what's up, brother? I'm Buddha. I'm Buddha. I'm Jeff, Broken Chains. Glad to meet you.
In everyday life, words like bro get thrown around casually between friends, co-workers, even total strangers. It's become such common slang that most people don't think twice about it. But in the MC world, language carries weight, and certain terms have meanings that go way beyond their dictionary definitions. Calling a patched member bro or brother when you're not part of their club is a mistake that shows you don't understand their world. In motorcycle club culture, the term brother isn't just slang, it's sacred. That word represents a bond forged through shared hardships, long rides, club conflicts, and unwavering loyalty. When patch holders call each other brother, they're acknowledging something deeper than friendship. They're recognizing a connection that's been tested through serious situations most civilians will never experience or understand. That brotherhood gets earned through prospect periods that can last years, through standing tall when things get ugly, through having each other's backs when everyone else walks away. It represents trust at the highest level, the kind where you'd put your life in someone else's hands without hesitation. When you casually throw bro at a patched member, you're unintentionally claiming a connection you haven't earned. Think of it like walking into someone's house uninvited, opening their refrigerator and acting like you live there. What you might intend as friendly comes across as disrespectful because you're ignoring boundaries that matter deeply to the people who've established them. In MC culture, language creates clear lines between insiders and outsiders. Moreover, misuse of bro can provoke strong negative reactions. Patched members may view it as a challenge to their authority or an attempt to claim equality where none exists. In tightly structured clubs, where hierarchy and discipline preserve order, perceived slights, no matter how innocuous they seem, can escalate into cold stares, verbal rebukes, or even physical confrontation. The simple act of addressing a member with unearned familiarity can disrupt the delicate balance of respect that allows clubs to function cohesively and maintain their identity. Instead of bro, simply use respectful terms like man or sir when addressing patch holders you don't know. Basic courtesy goes a long way. Ask questions if you're curious about their club, rather than pretending you already belong. Most bikers appreciate genuine interest more than fake familiarity. Some might say this sensitivity about terminology is overkill, and even some bikers would agree. But understanding and respecting these unwritten rules shows awareness of a culture that values earned status and clear boundaries. In a world where respect is currency, knowing when to use certain terms and when to avoid them demonstrates that you recognize the value of what others have earned. This same respect applies not just to how you speak to patch holders, but also how you treat their symbols of membership. Just as you shouldn't casually call someone brother if you're not patched, you should never treat a biker's cut with disrespect, which includes hanging it carelessly on a chair when it's not being worn. Number 13. Never hang your vest on a chair.
Why you never hang your cut on a chair? Let's get this straight. Your cut is sacred. It's not a jacket. It's not something you toss over a bar stool. That's your flag, your brotherhood. You earn this. Your earned identity. Hanging your cut on a chair is considered disrespectful, and in some clubs you will get violated, even making you fold your cut and apologize. Never let your colors touch the floor. You carry them with respect. You wear them with pride, and when you take it off, you fold it like it means something, because in this world, it does. I made this mistake when I was a prospect. We were in the clubhouse and I pulled a straight up rookie move. I was sitting at the bar and hung my vest on the back of my chair, and I was drinking and talking shit. A couple seconds go by and I notice it's gone, and I'm looking at my brother like somebody took my vest. I started like getting elevated and panicking and getting upset, and I was so mad, and he's smiling and I'm ready to fight. So obviously, one of them took it. So the sergeant comes up and he tells me I need to do push-ups to get it back. There was a whole argument and a whole situation over it. But long story short, I wound up doing some push-ups, and he said that day, you never leave your cut anywhere. And I knew that. but it was a closed house, only brothers. I didn't know that rule applied if you're just around brothers, but you never leave your cut on the back of a chair anywhere. Follow for more MC Culture content.
That leather vest covered in patches, what bikers call their cut, isn't just a piece of clothing. It's their identity, their flag, their earned place in a brotherhood. That's why there are strict, unwritten rules about how you handle it, and one of the biggest violations is casually hanging your cut on the back of a chair like it's some regular jacket from the mall. In MC culture, your cut represents everything you've worked for. Those patches weren't bought. They were earned through prospect periods, through proving loyalty, through standing tall when things got rough. That vest carries the club's colors, its reputation, and by extension, the reputation of every member who wears those same patches. Treating it carelessly shows disrespect not just to the physical item, but to everything it represents. The rule is simple but absolute. You never hang your cut on a chairback, never leave it unattended, never let it touch the ground. When you take it off, you fold it properly with the patches protected inside, or you keep it on your person. Some members won't even enter a bathroom stall without their cut if they're in public. That's how serious this protocol runs. There's a story about a prospect who made this mistake in his own clubhouse. He hung his cut on his chair while having drinks, and within minutes, it vanished. When he panicked looking for it, he learned the hard way about this rule. His own brothers had taken it to teach him a lesson. He had to do push-ups to earn it back, and you better believe he never made that mistake again. The respect shown for a club's colors on that cut goes hand in hand with another crucial aspect of MC life: understanding and respecting territory. Just as you'd never disrespect the physical representation of a club, you should never disrespect the geographic areas they consider their own. Number 12. The importance of respecting territory.
I just saw a video that was a complete abomination, and it's the problem in MC culture right now. And I'm not co-signing anybody taking anybody's vest, anybody beating anybody. I'm not co-signing any of that. But what I'm talking about is telling people that if a 1%er comes up to you and tells you that you can't have a certain patch or a bottom rocker repping a state or a city, that you don't have to respect it, they are delusional. Every time you look on the news and something goes on, trust me when I tell you, it's because one club had that bottom rocker and they moved in, and the other club that been there for years was not having.
In the MC world, territory isn't just lines on a map, it's something earned, claimed, and defended. Different clubs control different regions, cities, or even specific neighborhoods, and understanding these invisible boundaries can be the difference between peaceful riding and serious trouble. For anyone on two wheels, especially those wearing colors or patches, knowing whose turf you're on is as important as knowing how much gas is in your tank. Major motorcycle clubs don't take territorial violations lightly. These aren't casual claims. These are areas where clubs have established presence, membership, and often business interests. When you ride through territory controlled by an established club, you're essentially a visitor in their house. The proper approach is showing respect without challenging or disrespecting their claim to that area. This territorial system developed over decades in the MC world. As clubs expanded across states and regions, they established areas of influence and control. Some of these boundaries are well known and documented in biker circles, while others are more fluid or disputed. The smart rider learns these boundaries before planning long trips, especially when wearing club colors or patches that might draw attention. Certain protocols exist when entering another club's territory. If you're a patched member of one club entering the territory of another, there might be expectations about making contact with local chapter leadership, explaining your purpose, or even requesting permission if you plan to stay a while. These aren't just formalities, they prevent misunderstandings that could escalate quickly. Independent riders and smaller clubs generally have an easier time passing through territories, but still need to show awareness and respect. This might mean being low-key, not causing problems in local hangouts, and definitely not trying to recruit or conduct club business in another club's backyard. The pass-through pin mentioned earlier is one way some riders silently communicate their understanding of these unwritten rules. The consequences for disrespecting territory can range from stern warnings to serious confrontations. Most established clubs won't immediately escalate to violence, contrary to popular media portrayals, but will make it clear when boundaries have been crossed. The wise rider heeds these warnings rather than testing limits. Understanding territory is just one piece of staying safe in the MC world. But there's one rule that stands above all others when it comes to survival, a principle that experienced bikers know can literally save your life when things get serious. Number 11. The one rule that could save your life. In all the complex protocols and unwritten rules of biker culture, there's one principle that stands above the rest, one rule that could literally save your life if things ever go sideways. It's simple but absolute. Mind your own business and show respect at all times. This isn't just good manners. In the MC world, it's survival. The motorcycle club world operates with its own internal system of justice, hierarchy, and conflict resolution. As an outsider, or even as a member of a different club, inserting yourself into business that doesn't concern you is one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make. Arguments between members, club decisions, territory disputes. These are internal matters that outsiders should never comment on or get involved with. Respect in this context means recognizing boundaries without being told. It means understanding that certain questions shouldn't be asked, certain topics shouldn't be discussed, and certain places shouldn't be entered without invitation. It means knowing when to walk away, when to keep your opinions to yourself, and when to simply nod and move on. When around patch holders, especially from clubs you're not familiar with, watching more than talking is always the safer approach. Let them lead conversations, don't ask about club business, and definitely don't start sharing opinions about other clubs or internal politics. These conversations can turn dangerous quickly for someone who doesn't understand the underlying tensions or history. If you find yourself in a bar, event, or gathering where club members are present, basic awareness of your surroundings becomes crucial. Don't stare at patches, don't take photos without permission, don't insert yourself into groups where you weren't invited. Simple behaviors like these show you understand and respect the boundaries that exist. This principle, minding your business and showing consistent respect, isn't unique to biker culture. But the consequences for forgetting it might be more immediate and serious in the MC world than in many other settings. The one rule that could save your life is remembering that you're moving through a world with established codes, boundaries, and expectations, and honoring those even when no one explicitly tells you what they are. Number 10. Handle conflict appropriately.
One of the things that drew me to the Mongols was that they have a rule that brothers weren't allowed to fight brothers, because the concept was there's nothing in the world two men can't sit down and talk about or talk through. And I know we all know there's caveats to that, but I really like that mindset because, you know, we've all talked about this before, Jason, that shared time on the road, that experience of being next to your brother, you know, depending on the guy next to you, and then sitting down and having, you know, a very vulnerable conversation. I'm showing someone my weakness or telling them my feelings and sharing that, and then getting back on the bike and riding home. I think, you know, that's super powerful. You're showing another side to this person, and you're also showing you depend and count on this person. So I think that goes a long way.
The asphalt ain't the only thing that can get hot when bikers gather. Conflict happens. It's just part of any community where passion runs deep and personalities are strong. But there's a world of difference between handling beef like a prospect and handling it like a patched member who's earned his place. Watch for the signs before things go sideways. Clubhouses and biker bars have their own energy. When conversation drops, when patches start gathering in corners, when certain members disappear outside, these are tells that something's brewing. That's your cue to either step back or make sure you're standing with your brothers, depending on your position. The most respected bikers aren't the ones always ready to throw down. They're the ones who know when conflict is necessary and when it's just ego talking. They understand that unnecessary beef brings heat, disrupts rides, and can lead to consequences that affect the whole community. They also understand that some disrespect can't go unanswered. If you're ever unsure how to navigate a tense situation, watch the old-timers. They've seen it all and survived to tell the stories. Their measured response tells you everything about the seriousness of a situation. The quickest to anger are rarely the most experienced riders. And speaking of those experienced riders, the old-timers have earned their wisdom through decades of hard miles and harder lessons. Number 9. Respect old-timers. That grey-bearded rider with the faded tattoos and the weathered leather didn't get those miles on his face, riding in fair weather only. Old-timers in the MC world are walking history books who've survived club wars, police crackdowns, personal loss, and the changing landscape of motorcycle culture. The respect they command isn't optional, it's mandatory. When an old-timer speaks, you listen. Not because they demand it, but because every sentence comes backed by experience you haven't earned yet. These riders were breaking in their first bikes when many newer members were still in diapers. They rode when helmets were optional, when highways had fewer lanes, and when bikers were even more misunderstood than they are today. The patches and pins on an old-timer's cut tell stories, founding chapters, memorial runs for brothers long gone, rallies from decades past. Some wear their history openly, others keep their accomplishments quiet. The loudest voice in the room rarely belongs to the most respected rider. The true measure of an old-timer's impact isn't just in their stories, but in how they shaped club tradition. The rules that newer riders follow without question often came from hard lessons these men lived through. When they enforce protocol that seems strict or unnecessary, trust that there's usually a reason written in experience, not paranoia. The wisdom of old-timers extends beyond club politics to practical knowledge. How to maintain your bike through winter, how to pack efficiently for long hauls, which roads offer the best riding experience. Their knowledge of keeping a motorcycle running properly through decades of use is something no manual can teach. Number 8. Maintain your ride.
So basically, don't let your bike sit. If you're storing a bike for a long time, seals and deposits and O-rings and things that are normally meant to be used and have a slight circulation of fluids going through them, they can tend to dry and stick and have mineral deposits and things that just clog up and end up becoming a little bit of a problem as time goes on. So a little bit of regular use to keep all those parts fresh is good for your bike and is going to help it last longer. So riders, that was just a quick list of ideas, simple little things that you can do to get the most out of your investment, and in many cases find yourself from being stranded because you don't have a bike that's operating like it should. So anyway, hope it helps. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride on.
Your bike tells a story before you even open your mouth. A well-maintained machine speaks of pride, discipline, and respect for the road. It ain't about having the most expensive ride. Plenty of legendary bikers roll on machines held together with determination and mechanical know-how. But neglect? That's something the community notices quick. Basic maintenance isn't optional in biker culture. Clean oil, proper tire pressure, working lights and brakes that grab when they need to. These aren't luxuries, they're requirements. Nothing brings down the energy of a group ride faster than the guy who's constantly breaking down because he couldn't be bothered to check his bike before rolling out. The seasoned rider develops a relationship with his machine. He knows the specific sounds it makes when something's off. He feels the slight pull to one side when the alignment needs attention. This connection comes from hours spent working on the bike, not just riding it. Every breakdown is a lesson, every repair strengthens the bond. Club prospects often learn this lesson the hard way. Show up to enough events with a neglected bike, and you'll feel the chill from patched members. It reflects poorly not just on you, but on who you represent. In traditional clubs, a consistently neglected motorcycle can even affect someone's path to full membership. There's a rhythm to proper motorcycle maintenance, the pre-ride check, the post-ride wipe down, the regular service intervals that keep things running smooth. These rituals aren't just about mechanics. They're about respect for the machine that carries you through rain, heat, and darkness. The bike that delivers you home deserves your attention. A clean bike isn't just about vanity. Road grime hides potential problems, loose bolts, and developing leaks. The rider who keeps his chrome polished isn't just showing off, he's creating opportunities to inspect his machine closely. Many serious mechanical issues have been caught early because someone was wiping down their bike after a long haul. The relationship between rider and machine extends to how you handle your bike when you're not on it, especially when alcohol is involved. Know when to park it and when riding isn't the right call. Number 7. Handle alcohol responsibly. Let's be real, alcohol and motorcycle culture have a long history together. From roadhouses to clubhouses, cold beer and biker gatherings, go hand in hand. But there's a clear line between enjoying the brotherhood over drinks and becoming the liability everyone has to babysit. True respect in the MC world comes from knowing your limits. The strongest riders aren't the ones who can drink everyone under the table. They're the ones who know exactly when to stop, when to hand over their keys, and when to call it a night. Nothing kills respect faster than the guy who's always too wasted to ride straight, or the one who's constantly starting trouble because he can't handle his liquor. Many fallen brothers aren't commemorated on roadside crosses because they couldn't ride. They're there because they rode when they shouldn't have. Every experienced biker has lost friends who made that fatal decision to throw a leg over after having too many. Those memories cast a long shadow over the community. The safest approach is simple. If you ride to an event, either limit your drinking or have a plan for your bike and yourself. Some clubs have prospects whose job includes making sure patched members get home safe if they've been enjoying themselves too heavily. Remember that MC events often draw attention from law enforcement. DUI checkpoints near biker bars aren't coincidence, they're targeted enforcement. Getting caught not only affects you, but can bring heat down on the whole community and the establishments that welcome riders. The strongest move isn't being the last man standing at the bar. It's being alert and ready when it's time for the next day's ride. Commitment to the journey means being in condition to honor your word when you've committed to a ride. Number 6. Honor ride commitments. In the MC world, your word is your bond, and nowhere is this more visible than in ride commitments. When you say you'll be at a meeting spot at 0600 for a mountain run, that's not a casual suggestion. That's a promise to your brothers and sisters of the road. The culture places immense value on reliability. Bikes lined up before dawn, engines warming in the cold morning air, riders checking watches. This scene plays out every weekend across the country. The empty spot in formation, where you should be standing, tells a story about your character. Bikes leave on time, not on your time. Weather doesn't cancel commitments. Rain, cold, heat, these aren't excuses in serious riding circles. The old saying that there's no such thing as bad weather, just inadequate gear, isn't just tough talk. It's a philosophy about commitment despite obstacles. When you back out because of a little rain, you're telling everyone else that their willingness to ride through discomfort means less than your comfort. This principle extends beyond casual group rides to more serious obligations. Memorial rides, charity events, and club functions are non-negotiable in traditional MC culture. These aren't social engagements to be rescheduled. They're commitments that reflect on your standing in the community. The absent rider is noticed, and patterns of unreliability aren't forgotten. For prospects trying to earn their way into clubs, ride commitment is watched closely by patched members. The prospect who's always present, always early, and always prepared is demonstrating the reliability that brotherhood requires. The one who consistently has excuses is showing something else entirely. Communication is key when legitimate emergencies happen. Bikes break down, people get sick, work obligations arise. How you handle these situations matters. The respected rider calls as soon as they know they can't make it, offers real explanations, not excuses, and makes it right at the next opportunity. Long-distance rides amplify this principle. When multiple days and hundreds of miles are involved, the group depends on every rider to hold their position, maintain their bike, and show up ready each morning. One unprepared rider can delay or derail plans that others have spent months organizing. The colors and patches you wear on these rides carry meaning and history that demands respect, whether they're club colors or simply the symbols of riding organizations. Number 5. Respect club colors and rockers.
Club patches are earned. If there's one critical rule you should remember, it's this. When it comes to MC patches, you should only wear them if you've earned them. All members of motorcycle clubs take pride in belonging to their organization, and many are extremely loyal to their clubs. This level of pride stems from the vetting process each member has to go through before getting accepted into the club. There's a strong loyalty to that club based on the companionship and all the miles that club members cover together. This means MC members do not appreciate it when outsiders are wearing their colors.
Colors aren't just fabric, and patches aren't just decoration. In the MC world, they're sacred symbols that represent brotherhood, sacrifice, and identity. The three-piece patch with top rocker, club name, center patch, emblem, and bottom rocker, territory, is earned through processes most outsiders will never understand. Blood, sweat, loyalty, and sometimes years of proving yourself. First rule that matters: never touch another rider's cut without permission. That vest carries energy, history, and meaning. The patches sewn into that leather represent brothers who died wearing the same colors, long nights defending territory, and a commitment deeper than most marriages. Handling someone else's colors casually shows profound disrespect for what they represent. Territory rockers, those bottom patches showing geographic claim, carry serious weight. Wearing a territory rocker for an area controlled by an established club is asking for confrontation. This isn't about posturing, it's about established protocol that's been in place for decades. Research before you ride and understand whose territory you're passing through. The tradition of earning patches rather than simply buying them. Each patch on a true rider's cut has a story: specific rides completed, roles served, achievements recognized. They aren't collected like merit badges, but awarded by brothers who witnessed your actions. When visiting biker events in unfamiliar territory, reading the patches and colors tells you everything about the political landscape. Which clubs are allies, which maintain distance from each other, which command the most respect in the area. It's all visible in the colors present and how they interact. The respect for colors extends to how you handle your own cut. Never leave it unattended. Never hang it carelessly. Never let it touch the ground. This reverence reflects understanding that you're carrying something bigger than yourself. You're representing a tradition and a brotherhood that demands proper protocol. This same respect for tradition and protocol applies to the road hierarchy, especially regarding the road captain's authority during group rides. Number 4. Honor the road captain.
The road captain is also responsible for knowing the states and counties that the club will be venturing into. This includes knowing.
When rubber meets asphalt and multiple bikes form a pack, chaos is just one bad decision away. The road captain isn't just another rider with an extra patch. He's the difference between a smooth journey and a dangerous mess of scattered bikes and bruised egos. In established clubs, road captains earn their position through demonstrated skill, knowledge of terrain, mechanical aptitude, and level-headedness. They've studied maps when others were drinking. They've memorized gas stops, rest areas, and alternative routes. They know where every hospital is along the journey. This preparation isn't accidental, it's their responsibility to the pack. The road captain's authority during a ride is absolute. When he signals a formation change, it happens without question. When he calls a stop, everyone stops. When he sets the pace, you maintain it. This isn't about ego or control, it's about safety and unity. A pack divided by differing opinions becomes vulnerable on the road. The best road captains lead from different positions depending on conditions. Sometimes they take point, reading the road ahead and setting the pace. Other times they ride sweep, watching for mechanical issues and making sure no one gets left behind. Their position is tactical, not always fixed at the front of the pack. Road captain decisions might sometimes seem overcautious or unnecessary to newer riders. The sudden stop, the reroute, the formation change, these calls come from experience. The road captain sees the gathering storm clouds, notices the oil pattern on the asphalt, or recognizes the changing traffic pattern before others do. Supporting the road captain means maintaining your position without becoming a distraction. It means passing back his signals faithfully so riders behind you stay informed. It means keeping your ego in check when you think you know a better route or a faster way. The time for those discussions is after the kickstands go down, not in the middle of a ride. In many clubs, the road captain position comes with the responsibility of enforcing discipline during rides. The rider who repeatedly breaks formation, speeds ahead, or creates safety issues might find themselves having a direct conversation at the next stop. Or worse, not being welcome on future rides. This structure and discipline extends beyond individual rides to the broader community support that strengthens motorcycle culture across regions and generations. Number 3. Support your local motorcycle community.
Another option, if you're part of any of there's a few organizations, but one of the main ones is COC, Confederation of Clubs. It's nationwide from my understanding. I've not spent too much time on the East Coast, but definitely on the West Coast, there's COCs all over. Is to reach out to the board of your local COC if you're a member, and they can also reach out to other COCs, which is usually a lot of the clubs in the whatever area you're going to are part of that most of the time. And there's exceptions, and then they can say, hey, there's this club coming in, or even invite you to a COC, which I've
You've done that. That's why I
before.
wanted you to talk about it, because
Yeah.
The strength of biker culture doesn't come from lone wolves. It comes from interconnected communities that support each other across miles and years. Supporting your local motorcycle community isn't just about attending big events. It's about the consistent presence and contribution that builds the foundation of riding culture in your area. Start with the businesses that support riders, the small-town diners that welcome leather and don't mind the rumble of pipes in their parking lot, the independent mechanics who'll stay late to fix your bike before a big run, the bars that host bike nights and make space for club meetings. These businesses take risks by openly embracing biker culture. Returning that support keeps these rider-friendly spaces alive. Charity runs aren't just photo opportunities. They're how the motorcycle community shows its strength and heart to the wider world. Whether it's Toys for Tots, veteran support rides, or fundraisers for fallen riders' families, these events demonstrate that beneath the tough exterior beats a generous spirit. The rider who shows up for these events contributes meaningfully and represents the community positively strengthens the culture for everyone. Knowledge sharing builds community faster than almost anything else. The experienced rider who takes time to mentor newcomers, who shares maintenance tips, who helps others learn safe group riding. This person is investing in the future of the culture. The strongest communities have these knowledge bridges between generations of riders. Supporting local motorcycle events, even ones that don't perfectly match your personal riding style, keeps the culture vibrant. The chopper enthusiast who shows respect at a sport bike event, the Harley rider who appreciates a vintage Japanese bike show, this cross-pollination strengthens the broader community and prevents fragmentation. In areas with multiple clubs, supporting each other's public events, when appropriate and permitted, demonstrates unity to the outside world. While clubs maintain their separate identities and territories, showing a united front at certain community functions benefits everyone who rides. This community support naturally extends to how riders conduct themselves on the road, particularly in formation riding, where discipline directly impacts everyone's safety and reputation. Number 2. Formation riding discipline.
For motorcycles, when you are in a group and you ride together, you are either in track 1 or track 3. If you are in the middle, track 2, or in the wrong lane, you're obstructing the rider behind you.
Formation riding isn't just about looking good, rolling down the highway. It's a complex dance of machines that keeps everyone safer through visibility, space management, and predictability. A tight, disciplined formation turns individual riders into a unified force that commands respect and attention on the road. The staggered formation is standard for a reason. It provides each rider emergency maneuver space while maintaining a tight, visible pack. The left-right-left pattern creates a zipper effect that maximizes visibility for all riders while minimizing the total footprint of the group. Breaking this formation without cause disrupts the safety bubble that protects everyone. Position assignments in traditional clubs aren't random. The most experienced riders typically take lead and sweep positions, with the road captain up front reading the road and setting pace. Less experienced members ride mid-pack where they're protected on all sides. Prospects often ride sweep, watching for trouble from behind and learning from observing the formation ahead of them. Lane discipline requires constant awareness. Maintaining your track within your lane, not drifting toward other riders, holding consistent spacing. These aren't suggestions, but requirements. The rider who can't maintain position becomes a hazard to everyone around them, forcing others to compensate for their wandering. Speed management in formation isn't about how fast you can ride, it's about consistency. The accordion effect happens when riders constantly speed up and slow down, creating dangerous compression and expansion in the pack. The disciplined rider maintains steady throttle control, watches spacing, and makes speed changes gradually. Formation changes happen for specific reasons: narrowing roads, increasing traffic, hazardous conditions. When the signal comes to tighten up, single file, or change lanes, these transitions should happen smoothly and promptly. The rider who delays these transitions creates confusion that ripples throughout the formation. This same respect for communal safety and protocol extends to how riders interact with each other's property, particularly the unwritten rule about never sitting on another's bike without permission. Number 1. Never sit on another's bike.
Carly's, huh?
Yeah, they look good, but I'm way into the slant bikes for their speed, you know?
Right. All right. Say cheese. Cheese. Nice.
That's before.
Before. You don't ever sit on another man's bike, asshole.
In the motorcycle world, few violations of etiquette are as universally recognized as sitting on someone else's bike without explicit permission. This isn't about being possessive, it's about respecting boundaries in a culture where your machine is more than transportation. It's an extension of identity. A motorcycle represents countless hours of customization, maintenance, and personal investment. Each bike tells a story through its modifications, battle scars, and personal touches. Sitting on someone's bike without asking is like reading their diary without permission. You're inserting yourself into a personal narrative where you haven't been invited. The practical concerns are real. Bikes get dropped by inexperienced handlers. Mirrors get adjusted accidentally. Switches get flipped. Settings get changed. What seems like harmless curiosity to an outsider can create real problems for the owner, from minor inconveniences to actual damage requiring repairs. For club members, their motorcycles often represent their livelihood and freedom. A damaged bike might mean missed work, inability to make club functions, or being stranded far from home. The stakes are higher than with typical vehicles, making the boundary around permission that much more important. Even leaning on someone else's bike is considered disrespectful in most circles. Using it as furniture, placing drinks on it, or allowing children to climb on it shows profound disregard for both the machine and its owner. These machines aren't props, they're prized possessions that often represent significant financial sacrifice. The proper protocol is simple: admire from a distance unless invited to do more. If you're genuinely interested in a particular bike, find the owner and express specific appreciation for the aspects that caught your eye. This approach often leads to permission being granted and sometimes to detailed conversations about the build that create genuine connection. For photographers at bike events, this rule extends to how you interact with the machines you're documenting. Asking permission before adjusting a bike for a better angle shows respect that the community notices and appreciates. The photographer who moves bikes without asking quickly develops a negative reputation. Just as you wouldn't sit on another rider's bike without asking, you wouldn't approach conflicts within the community without understanding the proper protocols and hierarchies that govern motorcycle club interactions.